Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on Lumber Capital Dog Yard.
We are not doing the usual today. The mill will not be run. So instead, we were thinking we would
Do some art. I mean, what else do two girls do on their day off besides decide, hey, let's go get a canvas and see what happens when we
get a little creative.
yeah, so we're running into town, truck's all warm, and we're going to get some art supplies and be back. The canvas section. What size are we thinking? I'm thinking small because I want to be able to finish this piece in not too long.
Yeah, I agree.
Here
Okay,
is
so here's
thin.
like actually small. Oh my word, Emerald. You could get a mini canvas and then a little.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Well, that's
I
just
want,
sad.
yeah. You can do what you want though.
This would be cool.
An octagon or a. That's not an octagon.
You are so smart. It's a
Listen, I was
hexagon.
homeschooled.
Hexagon.
Wow, you read
No,
the.
I know because I'm smart.
She read the label.
I did read the label. Fortunately for me.
Wait, is that actually what you're getting though?
I'm looking at the other options.
I'm still going for this because there's more than one piece and it's a good size. Oh, you could get a black canvas.
Yeah, I saw those.
Okay, so what'd you pick? A round one?
Yeah,
Can't go wrong with round.
I feel like it's a good choice. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. We can get some brushes too.
I decided that I'm going to go with an oil pastel. The thing is that Jade already has some oil pastels at the house that I think I'm gonna use. These are freaking expensive. You're talking like $50 for a nice set. So thankfully she already has some. And do you think that comes with white?
What do you mean?
Does it come with white? For my black canvas.
Yeah.
Sweet, perfect. Well, I think that that's about all we need here, although I'm sure we could buy a lot more, but better just stop looking
I
before
could
we
buy
end
the
up
whole store.
Yeah, walking away with the whole store. We're all set up and ready to get started, and this is such the vibe, Jade. I mean, between the candles, the fireplace, nice warm cup of tea, it doesn't get any better than this. So we decided on doing a wood-related theme. We thought that would only be right.
It only makes sense.
And what did you decide on for your medium of choice?
I'm doing something that I've never done before, and it's basically watercolor, except it's in a pen instead of actual paint.
That's new.
Yeah, this
That's
is gonna
new.
be interesting.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I've never experimented with this.
And I have these oil pastels here, and I'm just going to be doing a tree. And I'm gonna start with an outline. And yes, this is like a carpenter pencil, but it's what was around to use. I'm gonna just get started. And I did realize that this canvas is a watercolor canvas, but I don't think it should matter too much. I'm sure that the actual, like, real artists are just making so much fun of me right now. But I think that art is one of the most fun things to really do. I've always enjoyed doing art, and being homeschooled, we were allowed to do a lot more art during when we were learning other things. So like we would do a lot of like just our own art while we were learning history, and that was one of my favorite things about being homeschooled, is that we could really
Yeah, there was like a lot of freedom, and it gave us like a lot of time to experiment and use your brain in a different way, which I really like.
yeah, being able to draw or whatever while listening to history or something, like, definitely gave us more of, it's what made us good at art. And I don't want to say, oh, I'm good at art, but
Well,
like,
I definitely wouldn't say that, because if this turns out horrible, then everyone's gonna think that we're stinky pants liars who are conceited in their ability to create art.
Oh, you wouldn't want that. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work, but I feel like that's all I'm going to do pencil-wise, and I'm just going to get started. I'm really excited to use these blues and greens because, okay, like this right here is my all-time favorite color that I've ever seen. Like that.
Yeah, I haven't used that one.
Is-
Do you notice that that's like the only one I haven't used?
Yeah, that is gorgeous. Like that is a gorgeous color.
I haven't used this bright orange. Oh, maybe a little
And
bit.
I already got all over my hands just like a second.
Yeah,
of
it's
touching
very
it.
oily. It's
Oh,
very
boy.
dirty.
And I'm sure this hot fire behind us is gonna make it like extra goopy. Okay, I don't know what I should start with. Hi, baby. Valona's just laying like right behind me, like kind of on my feet behind me right now. Okay, let's start with like a. Oh wow, look at that, Jade. That looks so cool how it blends like that. How do you get them out of there?
You just tip one end up.
Jade's like, that is the dumbest question I've ever heard.
Well, like I know the struggle, but I've done it a lot, so I know the little techniques to.
I've always just more stuck with like, I've always just done more pencil in general, but lately Jade has kind of been changing that up a little bit with just the art that you do for fun. Well, all art's for fun, but
Right, yeah, I've been using the oil pastels because it's fun to do color when you're used to just doing plain pencil. It adds a lot more to the piece. Yeah, you really have to mix the colors.
But that's my favorite part about some of these, I guess like in different ways, like all mediums can really blend, but certain mediums have a way of blending that's so cool. Like watercolor has its own way, but the oil pastel blend is very nice.
Yeah, watercolor's more like its name, it's water. It's very watery. And then the oil pastel, I guess you could consider it kind of oily, but I think it's like just thicker compared. Like it's very thick, even more thick than like paint, like any acrylic paint.
Do you use your finger to blend?
Yes, it gets very messy.
Oh yes, there we go. All right, I think I'm calling it quits on these two pieces. I ended up doing two because after I was done with my first one, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do another one. So, you know, it's really hard to say when a piece is done because there can be no end to the layering. Like you just keep on going back and back and back and back. And like, honestly, it just keeps on getting better and better. So that's why it's so hard to be like, okay, I'm done. But at a certain point, it starts to be like, okay, that I did not need to add that or whatever it is. But I wanted to show you two. These have two very different vibes, but at the same time, like go quite nicely together. This one is kind of like a tree with a stream running by it, and then this one is a tree in the fall with the sun coming through it. I am very happy with both of these pieces. And Jade, you're going to have to tell them about yours because you took a very different route with yours, and it's really cool.
Yeah, so this one is the first one I started, and began with watercolor, and then like midway through I decided to change and I used the oil pastel, and it's very abstract. This is a tree in the background, but it doesn't really look like one. Maybe that's the idea, maybe not. Maybe it was purposeful, maybe it wasn't, I don't really know. Then the sun, obviously, in the middle. And it's not done. I'm not done with either of these. It's just taking me so long. The eyes are gonna go all the way around, and it's like a false solar system in a way. And then this one is these aren't glued on, but they will be glued on. It's a tree underwater, and then obviously some little wildlife in there.
That's cool. That is so cool. I love that. And just for fun, these pieces will be available for purchase. You just need to email us lumbercapital@gmail.com. Let us know which one you want and we can ship it to you. And yes, they will not be the most cheap thing because we spent a lot of time on it, but at the same time, we would of course be honored if you see one of these pieces as fitting really nicely in your house. I think that'd be so cool. We're not trying to say that we're great artists or anything, but we definitely had fun, and it was sister bonding time. And it wasn't us running the mill, which is kind of nice today.
It's nice.
Well, I think that about wraps up for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. Other than that, we'll see you back here next time. Bye.